One of the things that a lot of readers need to get over is the idea that I'm taking this out of context. The idea that size matters. It really doesn't. Nor does type matter, actually. Literature is literature is literature. Okay? Here's some examples. This is a comic book. Well, actually, it's six comic books, but they're all collected in one thing. And it's good. I read it once. I liked it. But I'm not going to read it again. Doesn't really bear rereading. Here's another comic book. Again, this is what is this? Six, four? I don't know. Several issues of a comic, all collected in one volume. I read this once, and I'm definitely going to read it again. This bears rereading. What else we got here? All right, here's a great big book. I have read this great big book. It's actually comprised of four. I don't even remember. Four or five entire novels squunched. That's a technical term, squunched into this one volume. I read it. I liked it. I've got it. It's a cool looking book. Probably not going to read it again. It's not because it wasn't good. I liked it, right? I got my money's worth. But yeah, it didn't say anything that I feel like I need to experience again, you know? Now here's a different story, right? You've probably heard of this one, The Lord of the Rings. Seen some of the movies or read The Hobbit, or maybe you read this in high school or something. I've read this too many times, a half dozen, maybe a little less, maybe a little more than that. And I'll probably read it again because it bears rereading. I've written how many articles on this? I guess just one, but it took a long time, so it felt like a lot more than one article. But this is a big novel and it will support big discussion, okay, and multiple readings, okay. So we've looked at some things that are pretty small. One thing that was pretty small was Archie, and said, yeah, probably don't need to read this more than once. We looked at another thing that was pretty small, I Kill Giants, right? Another comic book, and said, this I'm definitely going to read again because there's more in it than I got the first time. Okay. We looked at, what did we look at? Dante Valentine, the complete series. Enormous book. I read it once. I'm good. I liked it. Don't need to go back to it. We looked at The Lord of the Rings, another big honkin' novel. That's another technical phrase, big honkin' novel. I've read it multiple times. I'm probably going to read it, if the universe allows, multiple times more because I think I can get more out of it. Okay. So, big, little, kind of doesn't matter. Right? The size of the thing you're reading does not indicate the quality or does not indicate how well it stands up to your looking at it again. Okay. Here's the smallest thing yet. This is a poem. One poem. I don't know if you can see it on this video or not. I'm kind of new to video making, and so I apologize if there's glitches here. This is a poem. It's by Stephen Crane. A man said to the universe. Don't know if you can read it there. A man said to the universe, "Sir, I exist." However, replied the universe, that fact has not created in me a sense of obligation. That's it. That's the whole poem. There ain't no more. It's not like the page just got cut off or there's a lot more conversation between the man and the universe. There's just that. Let's read it again, though. A man said to the universe, "Sir, I exist." However, replied the universe, that fact has not created in me a sense of obligation. End quote. I don't know how many times I've read this poem. Scores, probably. That means multiples of 20. Maybe more than 100. Okay, there's 101 right there. I just reread it because it's short. We could talk about that poem not for as long as we could talk about The Lord of the Rings. Probably longer than we could talk about the comic book I Kill Giants. Maybe. But we can talk about those 5 lines of poetry for quite some time. And they bear rereading because you're just going to have to take my word for this, most of you. The older you get, the more that the topic of that poem resonates. And the more you start thinking about it, and you go back to the poem, not necessarily happily, but you do. So, anyway, the point, the size of the thing you're reading does not really matter. What matters is the quality.